everyone. Welcome to our highly anticipated webinar, the Safetica pre-launch product training. I am Anna Milan, the product marketing manager for Safetica. So before we dive into the content, let's quickly go over a few house rules. First, in every webinar that we have or we conduct, we always highly encourage active participation. So feel free to ask questions using the questions pane or the icon in your GoToWebinar menu. We will address as many questions as possible during the Q&A segment at the end of the presentation. Secondly, this webinar is being recorded, and the recording will be made available to all registered participants afterwards. And so we have a jam-packed session ahead of us. And to start things off, allow me to introduce Safetica's new Chief Sales Officer, Karen Mimieux.
Thanks, Anna. So as Anna mentioned, I'm Karen Mimieux, our new Chief Sales Officer, and I'd like to welcome you all to our Safetica product training. We're really excited about this launch and all the opportunities that it's going to offer you for growth. We've been working really hard to ensure that our solution offers the best protection and detection and is available in the versions that your customers need and want. 2024 has gotten off to a really strong start, and you, our partners, are going to continue to be crucial to our joint success. We're continuing to invest in our relationships with you and look forward to growing with you this year. Our new version of Safetica is designed to simplify offerings to your customers, and we see a great interest and movement towards cloud solutions. We're also making an investment in growing our presence in the US and Canada, and all of these things together are going to give us a very strong 2024. So again, welcome.
Thank you very much, Karen, for those opening remarks. And so let's jump right in. So before we go into the product demo, I would like to just give you a recap of the product positioning that we've shared earlier this year. So in January, we announced the unification of our product portfolio, meaning we're merging Safetica One and Safetica Next into a single product because we want to simplify the buyer's decision-making process and at the same time strengthen our product offering. We have three numbers here, 1, 2, 3, each representing an essential aspect of the new Safetica. So let's begin. Let's begin with number 1. 1 represents one product. We have one product, and beginning April 11, we will unify to this single product, which will be referred to simply as Safetica, without any additional branding like Safetica One or Safetica Next. So the new product name is Safetica. And to reaffirm our positioning that we previously shared with you at the start of this year, I'd like to give a quick recap of our product messaging and positioning. So Safetica is an integrated data loss prevention, or DLP, and insider risk management solution, which helps companies discover, classify, and protect sensitive data, as well as detect, analyze, and mitigate risks posed by insiders within an organization. So you might ask, what does converging DLP and insider risk management mean? It means that Safetica, our solution, does not only focus on the what, but it also looks at the who and the how. So it does not only look at the data and how data moves across platforms, but it also looks at or monitors how employees use this data, as well as how they spend their working hours, which websites they visit and the applications that they use. Thirdly, with Safetica, we do not only create rules and policies, but more importantly, ensure that these policies educate our employees and foster data security awareness. And last but not the least, we're not only doing a reactive approach. We do not only react to incidents as they happen. We are taking a proactive approach to mitigating risk. So in a nutshell, we're taking the good of DLP and the good from insider risk management and putting them into this single product. So we have one product and two deployment options. So Safetica as a single product offers deployment flexibility. So Safetica can be deployed in the cloud as a software as a service powered by Microsoft Azure and on premises. So one product, but two deployment options. And three represents three product plans. So one product, two deployment options, three product plans, which are Essentials, Pro, and Premium. So let's start off with Essentials, which is our first product plan. And if there's one word to characterize Essentials, it is its emphasis on visibility. With this first product plan, customers or organizations can gain the ability to discover data at rest, track data in use and in motion, classify data based on content inspection and context awareness. At the same time, gain insights into user activity, user behavior, and even identify potential risks. Furthermore, this tier or this product plan enables the detection of data security incidents. So you can really see here that Essentials gives you the first step to data protection, which is comprehensive visibility. Pro is our full featured product. So it does not only deliver the visibility into data and user activities that Essentials provide, but it also allows flexible protection policies, application and website control, as well as extend endpoint protection to the cloud with Microsoft 365 security. Our third product plan is Premium. And while Premium is still in development, its overarching goal is to enhance product and account management, extend data retention capabilities, and introduce additional features to ensure regulatory compliance. And if you focus your attention on the left panel of the screen, you will see here 5 core areas of data security. And we've structured these product plans based on these 5 core areas. And given this framework, how then do we distinguish Safetica from our competitors? And we've identified 3 key differentiators that will make organizations choose Safetica over customers. And we start with data classification, specifically Safetica Unified Classification. First, we combine content inspection with context awareness to accurately detect sensitive data. And why is this important? It's important because many types of sensitive data don't contain recognizable words or patterns or any content or text content at all. But with Safetica Unified Classification, you are able to detect and protect data based on not only content, but also origin, file type, and even third-party classifications. Second, and this is around our protection and prevention efforts. In our protection and prevention efforts, we enrich DLP controls with behavior insights to accurately spot insider risks, and more importantly, focus on educating employees. And I'd like to emphasize on the importance of the education aspect, which is really grounded on, or which is an approach that is grounded in a culture of security awareness. And why I'm saying this is because we've had a lot of conversations with analysts, and in a recent discussion with an analyst from Forrester, she highlighted 2 key aspects of a strong DLP solution. She was asking this important question, what truly makes a good or a strong DLP? And she identified 2 significant indicators. The first significant indicator that she shared is a decrease in alerts, which signifies that employees are making informed decisions and that our DLP controls are effectively guiding them to do the right thing. So these notifications, these alerts, these controls are not just blocking, but in fact providing that good nudge to choose the right data destinations, for the users to choose the right data destination, and for the users or employees to follow data security policies. A second indicator of a good DLP that she shared is that it makes the job of the IT admin easier, which brings me to Safetica's third differentiator, and it is with our Safetica console. Um, Safetica's console, or our solution, provides a centralized console and a single source of truth to easily enforce policies and investigate incidents. You will see how we really put the user at the center of how we design this product, making it intuitive, making it easy to maintain and easy to enforce these policies and look into incidents. But again, don't take my word for it. To show us how these are all reflected in our new product, I turn you over to our head of product, Jan Lakatosh.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Anna, for a very nice introduction to the new version of Safetica. With this, I'll just reshare my screen. There we go. And before we go into the product itself and see how it works and how it looks like today, I would like to do a small summarization and recap of what is actually part of the product already and what you can find in our new unified Safetica product. So to get started, let's take a closer look at the first area that we cover very deeply, and that's data classification, the heart of our product, which actually allows you to configure what is this sensitive source of data in a company, and then we can go on protecting it. So for data classification, we already have a very robust system that allows very granular control over classification and allows you to combine any type of file content or file context or file attribute or third-party classification, label, metadata, or any other identifier, and create a very granular way of controlling what is considered sensitive, what is considered personal information, what is considered intellectual property in a company. We also provide you with out-of-box data classification templates that get you started and allow you to configure and start using the product faster than ever before. And if you've been following us for the past few months, already in January, we had a working data classification for data in use and data in motion when files are actually being used by users and being transferred. What we are still lacking a little is data at rest, but for that we are preparing a brand new feature that is coming still in April, and which will allow you to identify data lying dormant on endpoint devices and give you an overview of what is actually stored on such devices even when users are not interacting with it. And moving further from data classification to data loss prevention, again, our years of experience have allowed us to have a very robust, flexible policy configuration that allows you to control the ways how data can and cannot be transferred from a company. We cover a wide variety of data egress channels, and a small but very important part is already being worked on, and that is shadow copy, to actually allow you to investigate the files which were part of an incident by storing a copy of such files and allowing you to download the copies and investigate what was actually part of the incident. Shadow copy is coming probably in Q3. We are working on it. And unlike before, we are making it available not only for Windows and our on-premises solution, but it will be available for on-prem and cloud and both Windows and Mac devices. Moving further, again, the insider risk management is a complementary approach that doesn't only take a look at data, but also considers other aspects of the company lifecycle. And with our insider risk management solution, you are able to control what kind of applications and websites are used in the company. You can easily configure this by built-in and personalized categories that allow you to either block or allow certain categories of webs and applications. And now we are also adding a way how to manage removable devices in a very easy, straightforward way without making the configuration too complicated. You are able to allow, for instance, company flash drives for being used and block all other flash drives, or you can control how Bluetooth devices can and cannot be used in a company. And there are additional ports and device types that you can control easily. And to add even more functionality for our insider risk solution, we already have some user risk and behavior identification that you can go through. And we are also adding user activity visibility to a greater detail so that you really can consider not only activity of users, but the user behavior altogether in detecting risk and preventing it from becoming a security problem. For cloud security, which is a new area that we're venturing into, we already have a very wide selection of things that we can cover. Primarily, we are focusing on Microsoft 365 customers, and we can cover Exchange Online and SharePoint Online services, which gives us visibility into email and file operations happening on cloud, but also ways of protecting them. So now we already have ways of blocking email communication to undesired recipients, and also a way of unsharing files that had been shared and shouldn't have been shared. So this is a way of creating a mitigation system for not only devices which are enrolled with our endpoint agents, but also for the cloud services that you can use from a wide variety of devices, not only those protected by Safetica, but also mobile devices or home devices or personal devices brought to the company, so-called bring your own devices. One more thing related to this is that since you are integrating Safetica with your Microsoft tenant, we are also able to see the structure in your tenant, and we want to make it possible for you to reuse existing groups that you have in your Azure Active Directory and configure Safetica easily with existing groups and structure that is already in place for a company using Azure Active Directory as a way of separating the users into groups and various security structures. And moving forward, reporting and administration is something that you would expect from a DLP solution. And again, here we have a nice selection of things already available today. On the right side, you might see a couple of on-prem exclusives that currently are only available in the on-premises version. Our plan is definitely to bring them over to the cloud version if they are relevant. And this will be happening gradually. For now, you can look forward to these in cloud, but you can already take advantage of these on on-premises. But regardless of these exclusive features, we have scheduled reports that you can configure regardless of the deployment. We have real-time incident alerts now also available for cloud. We have very granular access rights and permissions that allow you to invite more and more users to Safetica and control what they can see and can do in the product. We have a popular security assessment report available in both the versions of the product. And also now you can remotely manage endpoints and troubleshoot them in case any issues may arise. So again, nice hygiene that you would expect from a DLP solution already available in the product today. And before we move into the actual product so that you can see it in action, I would like to highlight something that we started in January and that we are officially closing next week, and that's our early access program. During the early access, we actually had over 100 on-prem customers enrolled to use the new unified Safetica product, and 90 cloud customers started using it. And thanks to your feedback and your notes and questions, we were able to fix and improve the product in 645 ways. So there were over 600 changes that we did between announcing early access in January and between today, when we are slowly closing this phase. And to give you proof that actually the product is very capable of handling a large amount of users, there are over 10,000 endpoints already protected by our unified Safetica product. So really, it's not something that we are just testing out. It's something that's protecting over 10,000 devices in the world. So thanks to everyone who actually talked to us, got some feedback shared with us, and participated in the early access. because it gave us great insights into how the product is used, how it should be improved, and even the remainder of the roadmap that we have today is built on your insights. So thank you again. And for closing up the early access, in case you created new environments using Safetica and you have them still open, using them actively, or you've provided trial licenses to actual customers to try the product, we will be keeping all these instances alive at least at the end of the month, meaning by the end of April, everything should still be working for you. And after that, we will be switching to a new lifecycle when we have actual trial environments and actual customers enrolled with the final version of the product. But without any further ado, let's take a look at the actual product. I will try to focus on the changes that's happened since we last spoke around January. So pardon if we don't cover the entire product. However, we prepared many education materials. All the collaterals that we will be sharing with you should give you an idea about the product. And of course, we invite you to create your own cloud instance, which is just a few further clicks away. And you can play with the product and get familiar later on your own time. So to actually access the product, I need to visit Safetica Hub, which is our product management tool for the instances that are running for customers. And if I come to Safetica Hub, now we added a way to actually register for a hub if you haven't yet. So if you visit hub.safetica.com and you would like to get access to an existing hub or create a new hub, you will be able to just click a link and actually sign up for a hub account. Once you do that, and I really encourage you to do that so that you can try the product, and you log in, you will be welcomed by our hub console, and under customers, you will be able to see all the instances and customer environments that are running under your specific hub. This is our testing environment that you can see here. You can see a variety of Next customers still registered and some pro licenses, actual trials deployed on cloud. And in the top right corner, you might notice this Register Safetica Next button, which still allows you to deploy Next environments, but this button will be going away next week. So again, we are sunsetting Safetica Next for new customers. Existing Next customers will be still Next customers, so don't worry about any change happening to existing environments. And with the Try Safetica button, you can very easily sign up for a new environment, a trial of Safetica, and try it yourself or provide it to a customer, or just create a sandbox where you can play around and get familiar with the product. I've already created such an environment, which I have open in my other tab. So with this, I've switched to the actual product itself. And again, under data, hopefully many of you are familiar with this view. We haven't done many changes, although we do have some news related to Microsoft 365 integration. So if I filter for these logs, I can find new things previously not available. Now I can see files that have been shared on cloud. So you can see in this instance, John and Ada created shared links for file Game of Life PDF and payroll.xlsx. We can see some classification details. So I can see Game of Life was actually file that included some personal identifiers, in this case Czech or Slovak birth numbers. And if we scroll further, I will see that these were actually logs that originated in Teams and SharePoint, and there is no device filled in. So with this, you can easily see that these logs came from our Microsoft 365 integration, which allowed us to log these operations even when they happened outside of a protected endpoint. So there was no Safetica endpoint client enrolled there, but we still saw the operations. And again, if I click on a file, I can see that John transferred this via email. That's an additional log that I have about this file. And again, for SharePoint Online log related to payroll, I can see not only the SharePoint log here, but I can see the entire history of the file. You can see that John shared this via email to Ada. Ada again shared it via email with someone. Then some external user transferred the file. Ada transferred it again. And I have a very clear log that gives me a nice idea about the entire file's lifecycle. And now we don't only see the events that occurred on Safetica protected endpoints, but we can fill the lifecycle with additional logs originating in the cloud directly. This covers mobile devices, it covers unprotected devices, and it fills the lifecycle with significant information that can finish the audit trail to give you a complete picture of what was happening to a file. So this is probably the most interesting change. Some nice quality of life changes were added. When over a hover, I can easily distinguish what was part of a data classification, but these are only small things that we've added in the past few months. Moving forward to apps, this gives me an idea about what kind of applications are used in my company. I can see the categories easily. I can also block applications from being used, and I can check all kinds of logs from blocked applications attempted to being used. And the same applies for websites, where I see the website activity. Again, I see some categories that help me distinguish between various things. I can change the category if I want to. For example, calendar.google.com shouldn't probably be a science and education thing, but it might be related to business in case I'm using Google as my business choice of calendar. So I can easily recategorize it and have it behave according to my setting for business applications and websites. And moving further to a brand new view, this will be actually released to production next week. So it's something we are finalizing as I speak, but will be coming to the product next week. It's a view for external device use, where, apologies, we don't yet have demo data here, but you can imagine logs with connected operations, such as I connected a flash drive and it will be identified here, or Bluetooth file transfers, like I tried to transfer a file via Bluetooth from a Bluetooth device, and this was either controlled or blocked. So these types of operations will appear here to give you, again, a very nice overview of all kinds of devices connected to protected machines. And moving further, to give you an idea how this is configured, moving over to policies, we are also adding external device policies to control these things. So you can see I have a best practice policy here to block every Bluetooth device, every file transfer, every USB device, and every Windows portable device from being used unless it's configured as safe. And again, if we go into the policy detail, this can be a very granular or a very simple configuration according to how you prefer. So here, this is configured to reflect safe destinations as being allowed, and everything else should be blocked. Maybe that's too much, and I would just like to notify users when using these devices, and maybe not just those except for safe zones, but for all destinations. And again, if I want to expand the set of protected devices, I can also add card readers, CDD, DVD drives, maybe FireWire devices in case those are still used in my environment. And with this, I can actually expand my configuration to a broader view. Again, if you've been familiar with device control previously, part of Safetica 1, this is a new version of it. It should retain the same power while using the new policy system in a more modernized way. So hopefully we covered all the bases, and this will be very usable for the missing features that we had in Safetica 1, but not yet in Safetica. It will become part of the product next week. Coming back to the views related to records, I skipped the behavior section. And again, in early access phase, we received many questions and requests to make this section available on cloud where it previously wasn't. So now this is a standard part of both the on-premises and the cloud version of the product. Under app usage, you can see very detailed specific logs related to app usage. Under website visits, you will find detailed information about the websites that users were visiting in case you want to do a detailed investigation and find a specific activity that occurred at a specific time. And in email traffic, you will see information related to outgoing emails where you can see communication being sent out. And again, here you will also find not only logs from protected devices, but also logs originating in the Microsoft Exchange server. So if you integrate with Microsoft 365, you will be able to see communication set also from mobile devices, home devices, or the web interface of Outlook. So hopefully the new behavior section available also in cloud will broaden what you can achieve with the product and how much deep your investigation of a certain activity can be. Coming back to policies, except for external devices, we didn't change much here. So we have data policies that allow you to control how data can and cannot be used in a company. We have application policies that allow you to control or block certain activities related to applications. Same for websites. And under auditing, you can control what Safetica monitors and whether you want to apply that for the whole company or create some exceptions and set it up differently for various groups of users. And maybe with this, I would move to data classification, where we didn't do many changes, but I would like to go through the basics again to give you a taste of how data classification can actually be used and how granular it can become. So if I create a new data classification, which I would use for internal files or internal data, I can create a rule. And I can say I'm looking for internal files which include the word internal, or they would include the word Safetica. It's the name of our company. But if I want to be more specific than just this, I can combine this with something else. And I can say I'm looking for files which have the word internal or Safetica, and also they originate in our Salesforce system. So with this, I created a rather granular rule that's very specific. If I want to go even further, I can specify maybe the file type that I'm interested in. And I can say I'm looking for spreadsheets. And with this, I basically said I'm looking for internal Salesforce spreadsheets. And again, this is very granular, very specific. If I want to create an alternative for it, maybe I'm using a third-party classification that's already using the word internal itself. Maybe I'm using a third-party classification solution. I create an alternative and say that classified files with internal. And I can say that if we find classification identifier, I will just simplify it. Let's say it's just called internal. If in a file, it will be classified as internal data, or if we file a Salesforce export, which was a spreadsheet, and it also included specific keywords, it will be also flagged as internal data. So you can see very configurable, very flexible system. It can be even further improved with detection triggers that allow you to specify thresholds. You can go deeper and create many more alternatives or do a very specific rule. And this can then, of course, be used in policies to protect such files. So if I want to create a quick policy, I can just look for internal, which I created, and I can say that all internal files should be maybe notified, and I'll just save this for the sake of having a very quick policy. I enabled the policy, and now it's in place. To make this configuration even slightly better and faster and easier, we actually created not a few, but many templates that should reflect the most common use cases and should simplify the configuration. So for a moment, I just switched to a different environment where we have the policy set up. And you can see that we set up and created built-in policies that are prepared for you to just enable. I can simply enable the policy and start using it. We have these for not only data, but also for applications, websites, for the new external devices policies, also for auditing. We also refreshed our built-in data classifications to have better examples and more practical starting points for you to configure and maybe adjust and reconfigure afterwards. And also for data destinations, we created new groups that are built in and should make it easier to get started with Safetica. Let's imagine I'm a company using Microsoft services. We have a Microsoft 365 destination group that includes various Microsoft services, Microsoft domains. And if I'm using Microsoft as a business choice of service, I can easily just categorize it as safe. Or if this is undesired, I can just go back and put Microsoft back into untrusted and choose, for example, Google Workspace as my safe destination type. So we hope that with these templates, it will be far easier to configure the solution at the beginning, where many things need to be configured initially. And these templates, even though I'm showing them in a secondary environment, will be also part of the product next week when we do the official launch on Thursday. One more thing that we've added, and I don't have it yet in this testing environment, but I have it in a special other environment, is a new risk identification that will be also becoming part of the product next week, so that we simplify looking for incidents and, more important, events that occurred and need attention. So now, similar to what we previously had available in Safetica Next, you can easily identify specific events by our smart risk detection. In case you want to filter for this, it's very easy. I'll just add the filter for risk, and maybe I'll filter only high and medium risk events. And now I have a much more narrow list of events that I can investigate and follow up on. And this simplifies how I can look up incidents and how I can address security concerns happening in my company. This is definitely not everything that we are thinking about when we talk about risk. It's the first step. So you can also expect that this risk becomes more ingrained in the product. It will be part of more configurations. We will add it not only to data events, but other types of events, and it will grow through the product to make identification of incidents and noteworthy events easier than it is currently. So with this, I will just switch back to my original environment to continue where we left off. For the management, you can, of course, manage users, devices. With devices, we've added new ways how to troubleshoot devices, so you can easily deactivate or troubleshoot a device. We are also improving the flow of devices, so there will be filters added here. More operations will be available just from a single view. And one more noteworthy addition to the cloud version of the product is the new alerts management. This will differ for some time between the cloud and the on-premises deployment of our product. We wanted to create something simple that revises our previous alerting system. We decided to do it first in the cloud version. It's not yet ready for on-premises, but we are working on making it available there too. So just to give it less time until you can use it, we decided to make it available in the cloud version. So now you can utilize it here. For on-premises, you can still configure alerts in the desktop companion management console, but for cloud, there is a new interface. It's very simple at the moment. I can create very fast alerts for myself. Maybe I want to be notified about blocked operations or operations that were overrode by users. And with this, I simply save the setting, and then my account, which is actually logged in, will receive email alerts about all events that were blocked or overridden. This is, of course, just the beginning. We want to add more conditions here so that you can set up alerts in a more customizable way, so that you can look for specific data classifications, specific policy actions, specific events that occurred on specific destinations, and so on and so on. And also, we would like to make this available not only to configure for your own account, but to forward these alerts to a selected email address, the same way as we have under scheduled reports, where you can configure a report and send it either to yourself or to some other email address where you might be collecting the reports or the alerts. So again, just a note that this is definitely not everything. We will be growing this section. Now it's part of the product, and you can expect it growing as we develop the product. We release every week, and we hope that this will grow almost every week as we do new releases. The final part of the product that I want to show you is the cloud services integration, where again you can see a Microsoft 365 environment integrated. So you can see that the integration allowed me to synchronize some cloud users that are in my Azure tenant. I also have Exchange and SharePoint connected. I'm currently waiting for records because those environments are not really actively used, so there are no records that would be protected right now. But if these were real environments with real data flowing through, those would be logged by Safetica and potentially also protected depending on your configuration. You can also expect that we will be growing this Microsoft section as we go forward. And a very common question is whether we will be adding more integrations. So yes, definitely. Right now we have only Microsoft 365, but we want to grow to more cloud services. But first we want to make the Microsoft integration better than it currently is. So there are still plans how to finalize this one before moving on to other services. So this is the product, at least a part of it. As I mentioned, you are very welcome to register for a Safetica Hub, create your own environment and play around with it. And in the meantime, I will switch back to the presentation and to highlight some partner operation things that might be relevant to your needs. Let's talk about product offering. So it's very simple, and we hope we simplified quite a lot with the unification of our former products. When we have a new customer, what we want to happen primarily is that the new customer gets the new Safetica experience. This is really the primary preferred way how to provide the product to customers. And again, the customer might want an on-premises or a cloud solution. Safetica should be the answer. In specific cases, of course, we still have the Safetica One product, which is exclusive to on-premises, and there might be relevant reasons why a customer might want to choose that. But if they want to use the One product, they still need to use one of the new licenses that Anna showed you at the beginning of the webinar, the Safetica Essentials, Safetica Pro, or Safetica Premium license. And again, the plan for all these Safetica One users, current or new ones, is to migrate and gradually make them Safetica users. So again, compatible customers can already see the updates to Safetica in their Safetica One product, and we are making the compatibility always better and more improved. So we hope that the gradual rollout of the compatibility update will make more and more customers update to the new product. There is also a Safetica Next product that we are sunsetting for new customers next week. So this is a product that will be going away from the offering, but all the current Next customers will be migrated to Safetica later this year. We are preparing the migration. Once we are in a comfortable state of things, we will communicate the plan of migrating these customers, and everybody will go to the new Safetica product. Related to specific licenses, in case you would like to request or create a trial, the preferred way is going through the partner portal, where you can create a trial either for the on-premises or the cloud customer. An alternative for cloud exclusively is using Safetica Hub, where you can just register Safetica and create a trial through that. Here you can only register a cloud trial, but many partners prefer this anyway. So we decided to make this possible from the Safetica Hub console, where you can manage the environments anyway. For paid licenses, the process has been unified. So just go to partner portal, place an order, and the order can be made either for on-prem or cloud. And it's just a unified way of creating a paid license and providing it to a customer. For NFR licenses, in case you want to run your own environment or you want to use a license for testing purposes, you can request the license through usual communication channels from our back office. So this is a process not yet available in Partner Portal, and it requires a message to our back office department. And since we are unifying things and we want to make the process and the experience more seamless for all our partners, we are slowly unifying the Partner Portal and Safetica Hub. So we realize that managing two different management systems is hard. We want to make this more unified. The first fruit of this effort is actually unified authentication, which will be also released next week. And this will allow you to just have one credentials for Partner Portal and Safetica Hub and switch between the two systems seamlessly. So if you log into the Partner Portal, then you visit Hub, you are already logged in into both systems and you can switch between them seamlessly. The plan is to make Partner Portal and Safetica Hub even closer as we go forward. So you can expect another level of integration and unification coming. But for now, we have at least the unified authentication to make the process a little more seamless for you. And I'm sure there are still unanswered questions that we didn't cover, either by showing the product, talking about the product portfolio, or about the positioning of our product. Those questions may be addressed by our roadmap and the plans going forward. So before we take a look at specific things, we revamped our vision because we needed to address some trends coming to the market, also things that have been changing the ways our customers operate, and modern technologies that came along and are actually changing the landscape of every IT software. So we definitely are considering and moving forward with AI projects and machine learning to make our experience a little more seamless, a little more integrated and friendlier to use. Where we are today is still the incident investigation phase, where we want to make the product even more powerful from the point of what events we can track, what data we can discover, and what level of investigation we allow. By adding shadow copy to the product, we hope we will address this in a significant way by allowing you to take a peek at specific files that were involved in incidents to evaluate the incidents better. But still, this requires a lot of thinking space and to focus your attention to only those things that matter more than others. We are enriching our incidents and events with risk assessment. The first things are coming to the product soon. You could see it in one of the environments I was showing. And we want to use risk as a way of focusing attention to problems which are more significant than others, so that really you are not looking for problems to resolve, but the product is serving you tasks that you need to address to keep your company safe. But this is not all. We want to go even further, and we want to utilize modern technologies for dynamic evaluation of risk. So you can expect that we will have more and more intelligence and machine learning in the product to actually evaluate or automate the evaluation of what was happening and providing you with a passive way of enforcing security in your environment by giving you an overview of what happened, why it was important, and why it was considered risky, potentially with also follow-up steps to prevent these risks from occurring again. But this is not the end game, naturally. Giving you a summary of what happened with some mitigation steps going forward is nice, but it doesn't address a security concern that is happening right now. So we definitely want to utilize all these technologies to venture into active protection. And we want to take the load off our administrators so that they don't need to configure everything to cover all the bases everywhere. We want to automate some of that process to prevent risks from becoming actual security incidents proactively. And naturally, we don't want to do this by just leaving it to a smart technology, but you will be able to personalize this. But at the same time, if you don't, there will be a basis which is very secure, very reasonable, and acts actively, meaning that it actively protects things happening in real time. But to get to this vision, there are still some very specific things that we need to add to the product. So for the more immediate roadmap and our more immediate plans, here are a couple of features that we are working on and you can expect in the product soon. So for Q2, we are aiming to have a full-featured DLP and IRM solution. And to be considered full-featured, we are still lacking a couple of things. So as I mentioned, risk detection is coming very soon. We are working on data at rest discovery, which should be part of the product by the end of this month. Record exporting is something that we are working on, and we hope to have it in the product in a few weeks. And there are some usability improvements that we are addressing thanks to your feedback that you've been providing us with. and we are trying to improve the major ways how our customers and users operate to make it more seamless and more easy to use the product. For Q3, you can also expect some additional things that are not required by all companies, but in case a company grows in size, they suddenly have different needs, different requirements. So we recognize this. For these enterprise-ready features, we consider dashboards, we consider shadow copy, and we also consider a more customizable way of reporting, because currently we have some built-in reports that you can receive, but in case you want to customize them, we are still lacking in that area. We would like to address that too. And there are also repeated questions about support for new Outlook, which right now is a bit problematic on endpoints. So this is being worked on, and we would like to support it as soon as we can. And also we've identified some gaps for Mac users. So we would like to improve the Mac OS feature parity as we go forward. It's not something time-boxed for Q3. We will be probably doing gradual steps, but we hope to be in a very comfortable space for Mac users by the time Q3 arrives. So I hope this gives you a little glimpse at what we are aiming for in the coming weeks and months. But still, if you have additional questions and things that we haven't covered yet, we have a couple of minutes left for a Q&A session, so we are happy to answer any questions that you may still have unanswered.
All right, thanks, Jan. I'm seeing one question, and again, I would like to remind everyone, if you have questions, feel free to answer. We can see them, and we have a few minutes to address these questions. So the first question, it's not product related, but we are new to Safetica, and I wanted to know if Safetica partners can present on our behalf until we are fully knowledgeable on Safetica, so that we can pitch to our clients on our own. I think this is more of a channel or sales question.
Yes, so maybe I'll try to answer that. We have a in-house pre-sales team or sales engineering team that can definitely help you get onboarded with how to present the product. We have an e-learning course that you can take to get familiar with the product and learn how to present it to customers. We also have various labs that you can utilize. So in case you are still hesitant or you still have some unanswered questions in the area of how to pitch the product, how to demo it, I'm sure our sales engineering can help you, or any other Safetica representative that you are in touch with may assist you with these kind of questions.
Thank you, Jan. Any other questions? All right, I don't see any additional questions. But again, if you do have questions, if you need clarification, if you need more information and even training, please feel free to reach out to your dedicated channel account manager in your region. And of course, we will be happy to help and support you.
Additionally, if I may chime in, we had another session in the morning where we answered a couple of more questions, and there were some questions still unanswered. So we will be sharing the offline answers to all those questions later as a follow-up to the webinar. So even if you remember something you didn't get an answer for today, maybe you will find an answer in the offline form that we will share after the webinars.
Perfect. And that's actually the perfect segue to the last slide. So as Jan mentioned, we will, of course, as always, as a follow-up, we will prepare downloadable resources to share with everyone after this webinar. So in the follow-up email, you will have the recording, answers to all the questions. So we make sure that we're all aligned, we're all in the same page as to our understanding with this new product and its transition. And of course, the presentation deck discussed today will be shared as well. We have also prepared a lot of resources to help you with or equip you with the right information to promote and sell our new product. So in the follow-up email, you will have the link to all the sales collaterals that we've prepared in Brand Cloud. Jan mentioned about new e-learning courses. So please make sure to get the latest certification so you can maximize your selling opportunity for the product, and of course a revamped knowledge base, as you can see the link on the screen. And again, our lines are always open. Feel free to reach out to us, to your dedicated channel sales manager, if you need more information or if you have any clarification. At the end of the day, our success is your success, and vice versa. But again, thank you for your participation, and we wish you the best of luck and the success in this business. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Have a great day. Thank you.